Hello there, how are we doing? Game week 264 is upon us. Deadline has closed, so no tweaking to be done. I mean, I've done enough fucking tweaking. I've been spending sick hours lining up these teams, scrutinizing them for DMPs. Let's get into our teams for Game week 264. The common team. Bentancur away to Brentford. Marlon Mustafa back from injury recently. Adamira striker. I fancy Adamira to have push up mid-table next season if they don't get relegated at the end of this season, of course. Gerson, the main man in my casual team in my common division. The mixed leagues now. What do we have here? Underdog Rare League. So all 5 of these players had to have a recent average, last 15 games average of below 45. We have Groningen's keeper, Groningen's winger forward, Paulos Abraham. So a little bit of a Groningen stack there. They're at home to Hercules. Alex Telles away to Arsenal. Now, he wasn't in the team until last second, but he ended up being just the best choice. I won't get into every player and why because the video will take too long. There's a lot of teams. Eric Lira captained. Now, I say I went over these teams so much. No, he is the right captain. He's got the best opponent score. If you use So Rare Data, you'll know what I mean. Tyvon Gray, he also is back from injury recently, and he's a very low scorer, but he's a consistent. Consistent minute getter. He's a consistent starter. He's a consistent player. I'm always looking for players who are getting the minutes. Anyway, he's up front with a good fixture. Hopefully, he just gets some sort of decisive because his all-round score is pretty terrible. Specialist Limited League. This needed one player maximum above 60. It didn't need. It's allowed as a maximum one player above 60. It needed 2 players below 40 with the recent average. And I signed this guy just for this team, this Turkish division midfielder, who had a nice last 40 and last 5 of around 43. But his last 15 was below that 40 mark, which allowed him to get into this team as one of my below 40s. Himself and Abraham, the below 40s in this team. Jurgen Larsson with the offensive Groningen stack again. I'm bullish on the Groningen mid-table Dutch team. I like their keeper, although he's on terrible form. I like Paulos Abraham. I like Jurgen Larsson. I like Kassan Weirjo, their centre-back who's out right now. All young players aside from the keeper. Underdog Limited League. Now, I know Trap is out. Trap isn't in the mix. We actually had Cho Young-un. Wow, and I just see the score already, man. Let's fucking go. We had Cho Young-un, Deju's keeper, in goals. Sorry, the mic might be a bit loud. But we swapped him out for Trap. Trap is about a 40% chance of playing this next game. Deju's keeper is about a 20% chance. So Trap better in here. It's quite sad because this team is kind of dead because Trap's so unlikely to start, but I wasn't using these players anywhere else, so why not pop them in a team? Maybe we can get it done. Nemcha with a goal. 5-0 against Mainz. Wow. And he just won a penalty. That's not ideal, man. I did have... This video is going to take way too long, so I better get into it. I better progress, but I have... Osaniwo, Mainz' striker in a more important team, and they didn't score, so... Anyway, moving on to the Limiteds. Limited All-Star. We'll leave the All-Star to last because it's kind of my leftovers team. America's team just about got together. We have a good striker in Xavier Hernandez, a.k.a. Chikorito, with a good fixture at home to Nashville. Also a home MLS fixture, Orlando against New York Red Bulls. Another home fixture, Portland Timbers. The home advantage is big in the MLS. Not too high hopes, but let's see. Guilherme is a new player I'm bullish on. Konyaspor's left back who scores very well. I also have their keeper, so I wanted to get his rare to stack him defensively. But he slots into this team with Gradle, the golden oldie. Zion Fleming, Fortuna Sittard's main decisive scorer. Sven Combs for Ghent. Just doing the business. He's not guaranteed to start. That's why I took him off the captaincy for this game. But Andreas Leitner, a brand new signing to the club, by the way. Like I said in the video already, I think Adamir are going to make a push for next season. They've got quite a young spine to the team. And I've sweated a couple of their games. And they just have a... For a team at the bottom of the Austrian division, they've got a little bit of the ticky-tacky stuff. So, another Stade Rennais stack. I gotta learn to pronounce that because I'm stacking our players a lot. Our reward for the last video, check out my recent video before this. We won a tier 1 rare forward for this club, Stadi Rene. Sad that my stack is in the limited. But anyway, Grifo, Freiburg at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach, Oliver Baumann, one of the meta keepers in the Bundesliga. Hoffenheim with a good defense, getting him ready for next season. Got his rare and his limited this week. Nicholas Hedel, my new under-23 keeper. A lot of new keepers in the limited division. Jalen Lindsay is the weak link on this team. Charlotte away to Colorado Rapids. He's a decent AA scorer. Let's hope he gets the job done. Paulos Abraham, he took the place of Quinton Merlin. As Quinton Merlin has... he got dropped. He was on the bench in the last game, and he's predicted to not start in the next game against Bordeaux. So Quinton Merlin, although I had big plans for Merlin in this game week, they're not playing him for whatever reason. So Paulos Abraham takes over. You're seeing a lot of him bounce about. Quite bullish on him. Uterberger, another really nice Basel centre mid, who's just scoring really well. I tried to get a super rare recently as it was just way undervalued. I think the ship has sailed on that one. Now the All-Star has a Austrian League keeper, French League defender, Turkish League midfielder, Mexican League forward, and Bundesliga midfielder. And yeah, some decent players. Now Patrick Pence has the worst fixture possible, basically. Aside from that, let's see what the team can do. All of my outfield players can definitely yield some good scores this game week. So let's see. Time will tell. Now we go to the rares, and just like I said, I saw that they lost 5-0. Yeah, he didn't even play the full minutes. Yeah, this wasn't good for my forward. The rest of this team's looking really nice. Alexander Ring, defensive or centre midfielder for Austin with a great fixture. Hermans, Mechelin against Charleroi. Omari with a great fixture. Jean Boutez, he's one of my best keepers. I think he is my best keeper in terms of rewards won. Let's see how we do. All-Star Pro. Now, this team was one of my weakest teams, so we have a Turkish defender who's actually got a great fixture and has been scoring decent for me recently. A midfield stack of the Anderlecht boys. Josh Cullen, who gets great AA scores. And Christopher Olsen, who's recently came into the Anderlecht team after not being in favour with the Anderlecht manager, but actually getting some consistent game time for Sweden, which kind of told the Anderlecht manager, hey, you're missing something here, boss. Start playing Olsen again. Anyway, they play Union, who are the top of the division. I still think there's work to be done for these midfielders. I still think there's points to be mined. And we have Latif Blessing, who also is not a confirmed starter. Quite a 50-50 if he plays. It is a great fixture though, and he has found some form and game time recently. So I spent about 2 hours trying to figure out which was the optimal striker, and it was Latif Blessing for this one. We only had 2 under-23 keepers. Sorry, we only had 1 under-23 keepers aside from our common cards. So Nicholas Hedel slots into this under-23 team. Let me know in the comments if you think this is too good of a team to just put a common keeper in, but I just want utility. I just want to play. We actually bought this striker 2 times for this game week, but also, well, I don't buy just for a game week. I buy for the long term. He's a young striker for Vancouver Whitecaps. They're at the bottom of the division right now, but relegation still no threat, and you know, a lot of potential in this kid. And he seems to be given the go ahead to be their main man up front, which is always nice. So, like, if he scores away to Austin, wait till you see his price spike. He'll blow up. If this guy gets a run of form, he'll blow up. Enzo Fernandez captained. It was between Kochu and Enzo because Enzo's got a better, probably going to score better, but he's a little less likely to start. But I mean, he didn't start the last game, so he should be good to go. Under 23 pros. We got my Valentine Ozan Wafer super rare card in the mix here. Slanina and goals. Nicola Moro, Dynamo Moscow center mid, playing away to CSKA. Big game, but he's just such a great scorer. I actually had the choice between him or Ivan Obliakov, who's the CSKA center midfielder. They're going to be playing each other. Dynamo in second, CSKA in third. Nicola scoring a little bit better recently and just better all-round scores. So that's why I went with Nicola Moro instead of Ivan Oblyakov. Again, our new forward, Pablo Ruiz, my study buddy put me onto him. Just time will tell, but this guy's one of the most fucking meta underpriced kids. Don't want to talk about it too much. Now my champion Europe's, we got Empoli's keeper. We got Luis Felipe making a return from an injury. He nearly didn't make it into any teams, but I wanted to get him in somewhere, and I did, because they are playing AC Milan. He'll have a lot of defending to do, but something's giving me the vibe that he's going to just bang out a massive score against AC. Don't know why. Fabinho was originally lined up with Mane for my All-Star team, but Mane's not going to play against Everton, so chopped up Fabinho, brought him into this team. Normally you'd have... This team would have looked like Giroto, Pedro Chirivella and Quinton Merlin as like a Nantes stack, especially at home to Bordeaux. But both... Chirivella's out for Nantes injured, and Quinton Merlin's just been dropped the last couple of games, coming off the bench. So yeah, quite a solid team. Dzeko with quite a meh fixture. Inter at home to Roma. In the Roma gear there is a little confusing, but it also says he plays for Roma here. I'm getting so confused, honestly, because some data shows me he plays for Roma and some says he plays for Inter. He plays for Inter. Anyway, Champion Europe Pro. This is York. This is my new 6'6" super rare forward is York for Strasbourg. I mean, Strasbourg 4th in the French division. I don't know why he was so cheap, but got myself a super rare forward, and he's already yielded a reward or two for me. Like, it's amazing. So he goes in away to Lille. Giroto, you're going to see him. I think I've 3 Girotos lined up, maybe just 2, but this is such a great fixture, Nantes versus Bordeaux. Wallace Sousa da Silva. This guy is like Wallace is like Gary Neville in that famous United era, like 10-15 years ago, where we were just winning like 3 out of 5 premierships. This guy has been in some winning lineups for me, but he just never scores more than 45 in these winning lineups. But I really like him. He's a defensive midfielder for Udinese, and he usually, when he first started coming into my plans, he was a really nice scorer. He'd be scoring 50s and 55s with good AA. I think it might be something to do with Udinese's form. The team around him aren't playing well. It's hard for him to get points. So Udinese at risk of relegation, actually. So anyway, Danilo away to Sassuolo. One of the best scoring defenders of the game. Probably top 15, top 10. And just reasonably priced. Bowman, like I mentioned before, have his rare and limited. Now Hoffenheim with a good defense. Challenger Europe, we have Union's 6'6" centre-back Burgess. Great scorer. Sehic, who we actually won in a reward recently. They're playing bottom of the league, and they are in 3rd place with a good defence. CDK, the man captained at home to Antwerp. Jurgen Larsson, Groningen at home to Hercules. I signed a couple of these Groningen lads. I've been talking about Groningen a lot, and excuse me for mispronouncing it. But I signed these Groningen players before they had any big scores or anything. I just liked the team. I liked how they were playing. Jurgen Larsson, a young, confident striker, just with a great brain, great movement, great teamwork. And, the type of player, you hear Roy Keane give out about players not giving their all. Jurgen Larsson, is as much as he's a cocky, confident striker with a silky first touch, he'll grind it out. And he's actually been on a string of goals over the last 7-8 games. So really looking forward to seeing how this young kid's career develops. I mean, I say young kid, he's around 23 now, 22, 23. Josip Misic, Dynamo Zagreb, big hitter with a good fixture. So I'm expecting a little something from the Challenger team. Although I'm only playing so rare 3 months, and I'm starting to understand about how these Ajax stacks and everything affect the meta, affect the leaderboards. Challenger Europe Rare Pro. We have a Union defensive stack with Burgess and Bart. Cornelius, the main Trab striker, and Hamsik, who's only about 75% to play, but if he does play, he's one of the best AA scorers in the whole fucking game. Go Ahead Eagles keeper Noppert. I wish I bought 2 of these fucking cards at the price I got it, but Lucas Hoyos, Argentinian league goalkeeper. Last 5 average of 51, last 15 average of 51, and a last 40 average of 51. Just Mr. Consistent. Nice scores, nice old ripe age of 31, 32. Kai Wagner, Philadelphia, good fixture. Yimi Chara, Portland at home. Jesus Ferreira, Dallas at home. I am expecting a little something from this team also. Alexander Ring, look at all 4 of these outfielders' fixtures. I mentioned it already this video. MLS home advantage is big. We have 4 home teams playing, which is really nice. My America Pro, this actually had Portland Timbers offensive stack of Yimi Chara, Christian Paredes, and Asprilla. But Asprilla has been rotated out of the Kansas team, for the Portland team for the time being. So we have Asprilla just dropped to some training team, and Andrea Fontas comes in for his debut for my club. Kansas defender, I believe Celta Vigo let him go for free about 3 or 4 years ago to Kansas, and he's just been crushing it in the MLS in defense. Great scorer. Well, probably one of the best defenders in the league, and we have him in here at home. I don't know. I don't know why. There might be a catch with him. Again, he's very new to my club. There might be a catch with him. I got him at a good price. Let's see. Maybe he's like, I don't know. God knows what's going to happen. Brad Stuver, Austin at home. I kind of wish that I switched these keepers around, so then I could have kind of the Ring Stuver synergy, where I have the 2 Austin boys. But that's okay. It's only minor. Brad Stuver. This is probably the better fixture, and this is the better team. Johnny Russell. They might play Kiri Shilton up front instead of Johnny Russell, which I'd hate. Just because it's a kind of... it's a comfortable fixture, and they might rest Johnny Russell. I hope they fucking don't, as you see that captain's armband on him. One Asia team we got together that's off to a good start is Vessel Kobe's Daya Makewa with a clean sheet in goals. 6-0 they won in the AFC Champions League, the Asian Champions League. Taiwan Sung. This team I don't need to feel too bad against, because literally we had no alternatives in any position. Like, this was just the team we lined out. So let's just see how it goes. Elber very inconsistent, although did start the last game, and Taiwan quite inconsistent. These Ulsan Hyundai are a great team, but sometimes they get these fixtures where they can just play the manager could play centre mid and they'd get away with it. We have some I call these training teams. They can still win rewards, but they're so dead. I mean, this challenger team is particularly dead because Arase just won't play. But yeah, here's a couple of other teams. That Asprilla got rotated out of the Portland team. He slots into this one. But yeah, hope I have a great fucking game week, lads. A lot of time went into these teams. And week by week, I'm just trying to get the core of these teams better and better and better. Try and win more awards. And it's like this, not a vicious circle, but the opposite, where winning rewards, bulking up my teams, buffing up my teams, more awards. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. You have a great Game Week 264, and I will see you in the next video. Much love. Bye-bye.